Welcome to Tuesday's edition of TimesCast. Jeffrey Gettleman on the insurgent attack on the fragile Somali government.
There are worries that Somalia could become a sanctuary for al-Qaeda.
Could a salmonella vaccine have helped to prevent the recall of eggs?
I think the takeaway is that you have to be careful if you're going to eat eggs or other sorts of food like ground beef.
And the schoolyard battle over chocolate milk.
Now 70% of the kids drink more chocolate milk and flavored milks than any other kind.
Jeffrey Gettleman on the al-Qaeda-connected insurgent attacks on Somalia's fragile government.
A group of insurgents raided a hotel that was very popular for Somali lawmakers. They burst in, they shot a number of people, and then a couple of the attackers were apparently suicide bombers, and they blew themselves up. The death toll is at least 30 people, including 6 Somali lawmakers. And what's important about this attack is that it happened in a part of Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia, that was known to be one of the safer parts of Somalia. There's been a lot of worries about this government and whether or not they're going to be able to survive relentless attacks by insurgents who have pledged allegiance to al-Qaeda, want to turn Somalia into an Islamic state, and have already threatened the region. Some of the questions that we're now hearing are, have the millions of dollars that have been invested in it by the U.S., by the UN, by European countries, are they amounting to anything? It's not clear how big a threat an insurgent-controlled Somalia would pose to the rest of Africa. There are worries that Somalia could become a sanctuary for al-Qaeda, that as pressure is put on al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and Pakistan, some of its leadership could migrate to Somalia because they are welcome there. And Somalia is a very chaotic place. It's not just controlled by one insurgent group. There's a lot of different factions that operate there, which would make it difficult for anybody, including a terrorist organization, to work there. This is Jeffrey Gettleman for the New York Times in Nairobi, Kenya.
William Newman on a vaccine that might prevent outbreaks of salmonella in eggs.
Willie, I know you're working on a story today following up on the egg recall, more specifically on how the food industry is regulated in Europe.
What we know is that in Europe, and especially in the UK, they've gone really far in vaccinating hens for salmonella. In the UK case, they have a very high rate of vaccination with over 90% of the hens, and they have managed to bring down human salmonella illnesses by a dramatic level. Still waiting for final numbers, but it looks like over 80%.
That's interesting. And so why isn't that sort of aggressive regulation occurring in the United States?
Well, the FDA just this year began a new set of egg safety rules, but they specifically decided not to require vaccination because they felt there wasn't enough scientific evidence showing that it worked in a real-world commercial setting.
Is this an issue of cost? I mean,
the cost is relatively small. It's about 14 cents a bird, which works out to fractions of a penny per egg.
Yeah. Can you help people understand just a little bit more about what the threat really is? You know, should people truly be worried about what they're eating?
Well, I think the takeaway is that you have to be careful if you're going to eat eggs or other sorts of food like ground beef. You really need to be careful to cook it well and prepare it carefully. I think the takeaway for a lot of people should be that what the government is doing to regulate and keep track of and monitor the food system needs to be stepped up.
Kim Severson on the fight over flavored milk in school cafeterias.
School's starting to open around the country, and with that comes a controversy. It's not test scores and it's not classroom size. It's over this, a glass of milk. Kids are drinking more soda than milk, according to the USDA. This is true in schools too, and school nutritionists are concerned that without milk consumption, kids aren't getting the nutrients they need. So they started serving chocolate milk, strawberry milk, milk with added sugars.
I raised my hand for chocolate milk because it's a healthy choice for my kids.
Last year, the dairy industry started a campaign supporting chocolate milk. Now 70% of the kids drink more chocolate milk and flavored milks than any other kind. Kids who drink chocolate milk every day in school are getting 22 to 44 more grams of sugar than if they just drank plain milk once or twice a day. Schools that want to get federal reimbursement for lunch have to offer milk. The question is whether adding sugars to milk is really worth it. So the pressure is on between School Nutrition Association that wants chocolate milk in schools and parents who are trying to make school lunch healthier. At stake is millions of dollars in milk sales and, of course, children's nutrition.
Tune in again tomorrow for another edition of TimesCast.